It's great to be with everyone. I hope everybody's having a good time tonight. It's, 10th anniversary gala, right? Thank you. Yeah, cyber prom. All right, thank you all for being here. This is our largest fundraiser of the year. It's a great opportunity to pull our community together, to pull our friends, pull our families, and just have a moment to like celebrate each other, some of the accomplishments, some of the highlights of the past year. I do want to talk about a few things that ICIT has been up to. And then I just want to talk a little bit about some of the things that keep us grounded as we move forward. So one, I'm glad we've had such a great turnout because I got to say that, the Mike Tyson and Jake Paul is, I don't know, I was worried. So that maybe folks that come to Cyber Prom, anyway, I don't want to go there. But yeah, I gotta go. All right. So Parham did a fantastic job saying thank you to so many people, but there's a very important person here that I want to say thank you to, and that's my wife, Megan Simpson, Dr. Megan Simpson. So, a little bit of a proud spouse moment for me. This week we found out last year, if you were here, we spent a year apart. She had to she was qualifying for a specialty. She's a doctor. And we found out Wednesday that she is now a board certified, I'm going to get this right, micrographic dermatologic surgeon. That's doctor talk. Yeah. Basically, she can now do plastic surgery for skin cancer removal. So, yeah. And you don't want to see pictures of that, I can tell you. All right, Megan, thank you for your endless patience, support, and love. So for those in the room that may be new to our community, welcome. For everyone else, you should be tracking what I'm about to say. ICIT is a nonprofit, nonpartisan, 501c3 think tank with the mission of modernizing, securing, and making resilient critical infrastructure that provides for foundational needs. We do this through 3 lines of effort: identifying critical infrastructure that provides for foundational needs, think Maslow's hierarchy, identifying linchpin technologies that enable that infrastructure, and then the modernizing, securing, and making resilient of the first 2. That's us in a nutshell. The last year was exciting and busy for us, and I want to highlight just a few things. We launched our Center for Federal Civilian Executive Branch, our Federal Civilian Executive Branch Resilience, the center for that. And I'll talk a little bit about that, but first I want to thank Google Public Sector and Jacobs that made that event possible. And we launched it at the Capitol with Senator John Hickenlooper, many national security leaders, cybersecurity leaders, many of you in the room today. Why a Center for FCB Resilience? I know someone out there is saying, probably Chris DeRusha is saying it's FCIB, it's FCIB. I've heard it both ways. I've heard it both ways, but whatever. What is this thing, right? This FCB. I know there's a lot of us that have been in the DoD. A lot of us have served in the intelligence community. The DoD, 3 departments, 36 agencies, consolidated oversight in the House Armed Service Committee, Senate Armed Services Committee. Very linear. Intelligence community, one department level of thing, the OD&I, 18 agencies, and then you have consolidated oversight. Everybody else in the federal government, 102 departments and agencies that have very diffuse congressional oversight and are responsible for 15 of the 16 critical infrastructure sectors in our country. That's the FCB. That's why we launched a Center for FCB Resilience. And I can tell you for all the security folks in here, there's a fundamental principle that is, with access comes vulnerability. There's a reason our most secure systems in the world have the least amount of access. The FCB has to be accessible to the American people, and we have to figure out a way to keep it secure. and ICIT is dedicated to doing that moving into the future. So that's one of the things that we did. Another thing that we did is that we brought on a guy named Glenn Korn. Glenn, can you stand up for a minute? It's this fine young gentleman over here. If you see him, Glenn. So Glenn is our Senior Director for Geopolitics and Global Threat Assessment. He's a world-class and recovering senior intelligence leader with over 3 decades in service to the nation. He helps ensure that all the work we do is threat-informed. And increasingly, critical infrastructure is at the heart of geopolitical rivalries, and we have to stay on top of that. Glenn's here to help us do that, and we're also standing up our Center for Geopolitical Risk and Global Threats. And so we'll be doing that in 2025. Also, on December 11th, so this next month, and everybody will be getting an invite, just down the street at the National Press Club, we're going to be releasing a report on digital consolidation. You're all welcome to attend. I hope to see many of you there. All right, switching gears. ICIT is my second service. I spent my first service in uniform with the U.S. Army. Go Army. Yeah, that's coming up here in D.C. this year with 2 teams in the top 25, though. Who thought that would happen? So here we are. But so in the field of national security, though, we are often dealing with symptoms. We're responding to crisis, urgent threats that arise every day. The work that we do at ICIT is about root causes. It's about strengthening the very backbone of our nation and securing the foundational systems that allow our communities to thrive. Critical infrastructure isn't just about technology. It's about the people, the communities, families, and loved ones that rely on these systems daily. And I know that each of you in this room shares this commitment to making our communities and our nation not just stronger, but safer to the core. And at ICIT, we execute this mission with a bridge mentality. Connect people, ideas, sectors to ensure that securing critical infrastructure and we strengthen the relationships that underpin it. Tonight, we celebrate those bridges we've built over the past 10 years together and look forward to the ones that we'll build in the next decade together. And with this extraordinary room of national security leaders, policymakers, friends, family, let's make the most of being here together. If you find yourself sitting next to someone new, take the opportunity to connect. After all, building, maintaining strong connections is literally at the heart of cybersecurity. I'm saying. All right, so thank you for your support, for your passion, for all that you do. As a nonprofit, 501c3 organization, nothing we do is possible without the generous donation of our partners and our community. This event, our largest fundraiser of the year, grew bigger than last year. Thank you. Thank you for supporting this, and if you want to get more involved moving forward, please do. We're an inclusive organization. We're always looking for new ideas, new people, new partnerships. Now, let's enjoy the evening, strengthen our connections, and toast to the next decade of ICIT. Cheers.